All right. You ever wonder how it is that no one at the Clinton campaign was given a heads up on this, we're told. No one at the White House was given a heads up on this. No one at the State Department given a heads up on this to Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton on this. And Tom, I was wondering if maybe they're, concerned about loose lips and getting word out. And I'm thinking of that time that Bill Clinton, hopped on board Loretta Lynch's plane just to chat. Maybe they were concerned about that. But what do you make of that?
Oh, I don't make much of it. I think the director's hand was forced by the revelations earlier this week, but in the Wall Street Journal, that his top deputy was essentially, through his wife, on the payroll of Terry McAuliffe, the governor of Virginia, one of the closest Clinton friends in elected office there is. And then
so you think this is all linked to that?
I don't think any of this is voluntary. I think the director's hand was forced here. He had an internal rebellion, according to reporting even at Fox News from FBI agents, former and current. And he couldn't stand in the way anymore.
But the rebellion would have, to give it still more reason for him to swallow his pride and have to do an about-face, that is Director Comey, he would have to have been presented with new stuff that would push him to do that, right? Not just a rebellion.
This is a terrible situation for Mrs. Clinton, but the FBI comes off looking as the Keystone Cops, and that's the charitable interpretation. Why hadn't they gotten Abedin's computer devices prior to this time? Abedin had an email account on the Clinton email server, the only State Department official other than her that we're aware of other than Hillary Clinton, to have an account on this email system. We know classified material was in her emails, Abedin's emails, through our litigation, and yet it's only recently they go looking for emails at her home or on her devices. What was the FBI doing that they waited so long to ask these key questions?
No, that's a very good point. Now, we're told this came to light because obviously a separate investigation going on against her husband, her estranged husband, Anthony Weiner, a sexting case that they're looking into, and this came up in the course of that investigation. Do you buy that?
No. I believe the documents were there for the taking as a result of that investigation.
In other words, she could have been commenting and talking and communicating with him, and compromised material came over.
I think they seized the devices, it looks like, in the course of the investigation of Weiner, but they should have seized the devices for other reasons.
Well, they've got 4 devices. They've got 4 devices. Now, let's assume that 1 each from Abedin and the congressman, former congressman. What else?
Neil, if you were the advisor or key advisor, Secretary of State, and you had a secret email system, were on her secret email system, and there were records showing you were getting classified information, every computer that you and your family own would be in the custody of the federal government, and the FBI would have taken it all. And the fact they hadn't done it until evidently recently raises additional questions about what the FBI was doing and the compromised, corrupted investigation by the FBI and the Justice Department into Hillary Clinton, who is a favored person in terms of any investigation by this administration. We are in a crisis right now as a result of what Mrs. Clinton did and what the compromised co-conspirators over in the Obama administration has done for her. And now we've got this mess a few days before the election. It isn't fair to the voter, and frankly, it isn't even fair to Hillary Clinton that they're throwing this stuff out there at the last minute without any further detail to help voters or even Mrs. Clinton defend herself at this
Well, no, you're right about this, and apparently they were exercised over how to go about this. We're learning from our Washington office that the debate was going something like this. Do we do it now or do we do it later? That was a tough question. This is an enforcement official speaking to one of our Washington people. The decision was made to inform the committee now about what they had because they didn't want to be accused of holding information that could have been pertinent to the investigation and then have to inform Congress after Election Day. So they were doing, if that's to be believed, their own Heine covering.
I hear all this, and it just reconfirms why Comey should have nothing to do with this anymore, why there needs to be some type of independent counsel or special counsel, which is allowed under the regulations of the Justice Department. Right. And there's got to be a new look. We have to have fresh eyes on this whole scandal, and this is going to take place whether or not Mrs. Clinton is elected. I guarantee you there's going to be a special counsel. I suspect there'll be a special counsel and a criminal investigation no matter who wins the presidency.
No matter who wins. No, I think you could be right about that. Tom Fitton, Judicial Watch president. Thank you, Tom, very, very much.
You're welcome.